Hey everybody, this is Kenny with Beat Body Training, and today I want to give you guys a book review on nutrition. Now, I read a lot of books out there on what's good to eat, what's not good to eat, and I understand that a lot of my clients and even you guys probably don't have time because there's so much information out there on what we should be eating. But there's one book that I really want to talk about that I feel will change your life if you give it a good read. And there's even better news. If you don't have time to read all of it, I'm going to give you a quick overview on what it is, what it's about, and how you can benefit from this book, should you choose to read it, or if you just want to take some of the main points that I'm going to tell you from this video. The book that I'm talking about is called Fat Chance. Now this is the book, Fat Chance by Dr. Robert LUSTIG. Now, he's a doctor that's out in the U.S., I believe in San Francisco. And the book, again, it's called Fat Chance, Beating the Odds Against Sugar, Processed Foods, Obesity, and Disease. This has got to be one of the most passionate books I've read on these subjects. This guy does not spare you any kind of, I want to feel good about myself. He literally tells you how it is. And he uses a lot of the biochemistry elements of it to back it up. And he's got tons of journalistic articles. This guy is an amazing writer. And like I said, I really like how he doesn't sugarcoat anything. Some of the main things that he talks about is that the problem we have in our society is not that we're just a little overweight. It's that we're pretty much 3 times fatter than what we used to be because our insulin is so high. So, what makes our insulin so high? Well, he goes on talking about processed foods. Now, some of the problems with processed foods are that there's too many trans fats in there, and even though they've reduced the amount of trans fats compared to before, they're still there. He talks about the fact that there's not enough fiber in any of the processed foods that are really out there. There's not enough fiber, or there might not be any fiber. And then he goes on to say that there's not enough micronutrients. So if you don't know what a micronutrient is, micronutrients are vegetables and fruits. Okay? Now, that's what there's not enough of. The problem with processed foods is that they're very high in omega-6 fatty acids. Those are things that promote inflammation. There's a lot of processed foods out there, that have alcohol in it. And then the granddaddy of them all is sugar. Okay? And he goes into extreme detail about sugar, refined sugar, high-fructose corn syrup. And no matter what you think you know about sugar, this guy really helps set the record straight. He goes into saying that we believe that a calorie is a calorie. Doesn't matter if you get your calories from a carrot or if you get your calories from a cheesecake. And I know a lot of people would like to believe that, but he is correct when he says that is dead wrong. Because a calorie is not a calorie. Because you do not metabolize the same calories you would with vegetables as you would with popcorn. The body metabolizes things differently. He also goes in to show that there are some calories that are more prone to causing disease than others. So right away, he goes and gets rid of that myth of a calorie is a calorie. So let's be clear on that. A calorie is not a calorie. Okay? Then he goes on to say, does it matter if you're skinny and eating all the sugar or if you're obese and eating all the sugar? He goes in and says that it doesn't matter because people who are super skinny and eat all the junk food that they want, he calls them the tofi. And a tofi is somebody who's thin on the outside, fat on the inside. Okay? And that goes into, there's 2 kinds of fat. There's the subcutaneous fat, which is the love handles, the fat around the neck, the arms, the legs. That's subcutaneous fat. Now then there's visceral fat. And this is the dangerous stuff that he really goes into talking about. And I agree with him. I tell all my clients the same thing. Visceral fat is the fat around your organs. Okay? So you want to make sure that you reduce your visceral fat. You don't want your liver swimming in like 5 liters of fat. So he goes on and says that if you're fat and have subcutaneous fat and visceral fat, it's not good. But if you're skinny and you have excessive visceral fat that just hasn't manifested into subcutaneous fat, it doesn't matter. So he goes on to say that 7/8 of the United States, has diabetes. And a lot of them don't know that they are type 2 diabetics. So he goes on to say that this is a public health crisis. Okay? So just because you're skinny, don't think you're better off than somebody else. You can still be diabetic and not know. That's a really good point that I took from the book. He likes to say that we are blind to diabetes until we become blind from diabetes. Another key point that he makes in this book is that when our insulin gets too high, we gain weight. But he also likes to say that the reason why that happens is because we have a hormone called leptin. And leptin is the signal to your brain that tells you you are full. If we go out to eat and I eat more than you, that just means that my leptin signal hasn't got to my brain and said, hey, you're full. Some people get it faster than others, and some people have a leptin signal that is broken. So they never get the message that they are full. And they keep eating, and they keep eating, and they keep eating. He goes in to say those are people that are, they may have a stroke. They may have had something going wrong with their brain, and how for them, it's not about diet and exercise and personal responsibility. They don't have a choice. So he makes a great point about that. He also talks about how sugar, because it raises our insulin, it blocks our leptin signal from getting to the brain. So the more sugar you eat, the more pop you drink, the less stronger your leptin signal is going to be. And you're just going to get fatter and fatter and fatter. Okay? Those are just some of the points from the book. I don't want to ruin it for you, but again, if you go out and buy this book, it was definitely a good $15 or $20 investment. I forgot what I paid for it because the information is so valuable. So I really highly recommend this book, Fat Chance. Okay? Go out and read it. I've also included a link to one of his lectures from a TED Talk, and also The Bitter Truth About Sugar. It went viral a while ago. He's been on TV shows all up and down the country. But read it or listen to it, watch the video. I do believe that we will all be better for it. Even if you don't cut sugar completely out of your diet, reducing the amount of sugar definitely will help increase your chances of losing weight and feeling great. So that's my book review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, rate it, like it, get the information out there. Stop making excuses. Go out there and get what you want. No excuses. Let's go.